Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server, or should I say, the Hermitcraft world, because we're not actually going to be on the Hermitcraft server today. In fact, we're not actually going to be on the Hermitcraft Series 3 world at all, because I thought I would mix things up just a little bit today. Now, this is going to be, I think this is going to like split the viewership. I think some people are going to be like, oh, this is really boring, and some people are going to be like, oh, this is awesome, because I've never really seen this before, because I forget. It's 130 episodes ago since I have been in this world, so to me, this is all familiar, but for a lot of you guys who have only just recently started watching the Hermitcraft series, this is all going to be new to you. So what I thought we'd do today is I thought we'd hop inside the Hermitcraft Series 2 world. Now, Hermitcraft Series 2, this is, yeah, wow, okay, we have spawned in, of course, where I last was on the Hermitcraft server. This is where I last was on the Hermitcraft Series 2 world. And here we are inside my base. I was expecting to spawn in like the spawn chunks or something like that. But no, here we are. We are in, what was the Mumbo Jumbo Jungle Base. The Mumbo Jumbo Jungle Base. Yeah, this place. Oh, wow. Okay, I've just been hit by a massive wave of nostalgia. So this is the Hermitcraft Series 2 world. This is a place that I spent a lot of time, and I was super happy with how my base looked. Looking back, though, I mean, it's alright. It's a nice base. It is a nice base, but I have to say, I feel like I've definitely improved quite a bit. I've definitely improved quite a bit in Hermitcraft Series 3 in terms of building, but you can definitely see some similarities. Of course, we've got our mob spawner up there, we've got the platform right there, and we even have like a circle theme with the mob drops going down in the middle. So clearly I took some inspiration from Hermitcraft Series 2 when I was first starting out in my Hermitcraft Series 3 base. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just wander around, I'm going to chat through some of my previous builds, and we're basically going to do a mini Hermitcraft Series 2 world tour that hopefully a lot of you are really going to enjoy. I hope that you guys find this interesting. I think it's going to be pretty cool. We'll be able to have a bit of a look back in the past. For those of you who watched the Hermitcraft Series 2, you will remember all of this stuff. For those of you who didn't watch the Hermitcraft Series 2, this is all going to be new to you, so let's go. So, we're going to be starting this little tour off at the best place in the base, which of course is Mumbo's crotch right here, but in all seriousness, we do get a pretty good view of the base area from this little section. This is like the platform, and this is actually where all of the mob drops come through as well, but this is where you can see a lot of the builds that I worked on. So, there's all sorts of stuff going on. I mean, I don't really know how to explain what this base was all about, because I didn't really have a plan. I remember I wanted to work in a jungle biome, fairly certain I came over here and just set the whole thing on fire, and then it didn't really work, so I ended up mining a lot of it out, and I basically built this big O thing. Oh, or did I build that first? Or did I built that first? I mean, this was one of the first builds I did on the server. I don't know how I managed to get all the resources to build that thing, but yeah, I built that pretty early on, and then I built all of this sort of stuff. And I don't know, I didn't really have a plan. It's much like my Hermitcraft Series 3 world. I just sort of had like a rough idea. I was like, oh, that would be cool. That would be a cool thing to do. And then I just got to work and did it, and it sort of ended up working out. One of these days, though, it's not going to work out, and everything's going to end up really ugly. But as far as I can tell, that's yet to happen, because I actually quite like this place. It's messy, and it looks a tiny bit amateur looking back. Like, there's some things that I would definitely fix up and change, but on the whole, it's actually quite a nice little place. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start things off inside my main base area, because this is where I spent most of my time. This is where most of the builds are. As always, I'm one of those players that I like to start things off above ground, and I like to think that I'm going to build things above ground, but then I always end up going underneath. It's just the way I seem to do things. So down at the bottom here, we have got all of the donator signs. Yeah, this is from live streams and things, so this is where I was putting up signs, and there are some absolutely ridiculous donations on these walls, as you can see. I mean, these things are truly bonkers. Blimey, I really need to start chucking up donation signs in live streams, because that was a really good thing to do. That was a really cool thing to do. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do more of that. But then at the end here, we've got the auto mushroom farms. I don't think I ever used whatsoever, so they just got left alone. And then on this side, I have got the train station, which takes you through into the fishing village. But anyway, leaving all of this stuff behind, I think we're going to pop down another level. And yes, I do remember this base was completely lethal. Like, it has no supports for anyone who doesn't have ender pearls. You would just fall right the way through. The number of times I actually jumped through, went straight through this hole and that hole as well, and almost hit the decks down at the bottom there. It's probably too many times than I can count. But yeah, here we are inside my storage systems. And boy oh boy, did they really look like this? Seriously, did they look like this? Man, this place was ugly. I'm being honest with you here, guys. This place, I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of this. I don't know why. Like, when I was building this and when this was my base, I thought this was the best looking storage system. I was like, this is so cool. Like, I was like, this is the best looking base. And everyone was like, oh, you use too many stone bricks. And I was like, no, I don't. I use too many stone bricks. I totally use too many stone bricks here. Look at this place. And up here as well. I used to think this place was amazing looking. Seriously, I don't know what this is. I mean, it looks okay. It's a nice looking base, but I used to seriously think that this place looks absolutely awesome. Like, it was one of the best builds I'd ever created and things like that. Wow, that's insane. Anyway, here we have the supercharged vault door there. That might be the old design. It is. Yeah, it's the old design because this was pre-slime blocks. Was it pre-slime blocks? Of course, it must have been. So yeah, there's no slime block builds in any of this. No, of course there's not. So yeah, this was that was the old design right there, so it's a little bit slower. But then inside here we've got my crazy sugarcane farm. This thing produced a ton of sugarcane, or did it? Clearly it didn't produce that much. And then over here we've got the obsidian farm that I created. That no longer works. Then we've got some lightning brewing stations over here. I never ended up using those speed potions, but the one thing that I'm really noticing, like big time, one of the big themes of this place here is mess. There's mess all over the place. Look, there's these sorts of chests everywhere. And then we've got like anvils in the middle of the rooms. We've got dirt blocks over there. I didn't seem to clean up after myself. We've got this little structure here. I mean, what's that all about? Very, very strange how what I got up to and the things that I messed up. Look, even my sugarcane farm has got a block missing, and that block was probably missing for like months and months, and people probably told me about it down in the comment section asking me to replace it. But I never used to do that sort of thing. And I think Hermitcraft Series 3, I've definitely got better at maintaining my base and making sure that everything still looks good. Because, you know, if there was something like that going on in my base now in Hermitcraft Series 3, that would drive me mad. And I would definitely sort that out. But anyway, moving on from this area right here. I do really like this room though. And that sugarcane farm is awesome. However, I do wish that I'd used sand there. I think that would have looked a little bit better. Let's pop down through into here. And I believe this takes us through into the gold farm that I created. Now this was like a really strange idea. I can't remember what I was going to do, but I wasn't planning on building a gold farm, I don't think. I was going to build a slime farm, that was it. We're in a slime chunk right now, and I mined out this entire area and then decided I didn't really fancy building a slime farm, so I built a gold farm instead, and it was a little bit on the slow side. Yeah, really slow. I think in total we got something like 60 gold ingots from this thing, so it really wasn't producing that much gold, and it took quite a long time to create, which was a bit of a shame there, really. But so that was a really fun project, and obviously it was pretty awesome to mine out this entire area. That was a pretty major one. But anyway, let's head back through into the base now, and we'll continue looking around at what's going on downstairs. Now, as far as stuff out the back is concerned, I seem to remember there's quite a few redstone contraptions out here. Obviously, we've got our big item sorter here. Well, this was big by my standards, but now, of course, we've got a much bigger item sorter. I think Hermitcraft Series 3, for me, has basically been somewhat similar projects, just really scaled up. Like, I've gone overboard in Hermitcraft Series 3. This stuff all looks, as I say, a little bit amateur in comparison to the stuff that I've been working on over the past year or so. So that's nice to know. It's nice to know that I'm progressing anyway. But yeah, we've got item droppers and things like that, and then this is where the rejected items go, and there's quite a lot of rejected items. And yes, in typical Mumbo fashion, once again, they back right the way up. Look, we've got packed ice, we had a ton of wood in there. Seriously, I was just useless. I was absolutely useless. I'm getting frustrated looking back at my old builds. I'm surprised that you guys stuck with me for so long. But anyway, dropping down into here, we have got my auto mining system. Once again, filled with really important resources that I never would have found, and I would have ended up crafting up. And this is where all of the items from the auto mining system down at the bottom here come from. And once again, there are blocks missing all over the place because that is typical old-fashioned Mumbo. But let's just drop down to the bottom here and we can take a look at the actual mining system itself, because basically these hoppers in the middle, they carry the items that we get from the mining, they go into these droppers right here, and they make their way right the way up to the top into those chests over there. And that thing is awesome, and that is actually by far my most viewed Hermitcraft episode. I believe it is now on 1 million views. It's my first Hermitcraft episode to hit 1 million views, which is absolutely insane. And I'm a little bit disappointed because the episode itself, I seem to remember, I can't remember what it was. I don't know if I can't remember if I had a cold or something like that, or perhaps I just can't remember. But I remember it not being my best episode, and I'm a little bit gutted that that happens to be the most viewed one. But anyway, as far as like design is concerned, we have cobblestone walls, we've got a bunch of lava and things, which a lot of people commented. They were like, are you stupid? You know, you're throwing, the way that we get the items into these hoppers is we throw them. Do you really want to have lava lying about? And yeah, I sort of see what you guys mean. You come back from a long mining session with like a stack of diamonds, and then you throw them into your lava. That would be pretty bad news. But anyway, let's head back up to the top. We'll take a look at the things that I built on the surface, because I seem to remember there was actually some pretty decent stuff up there. Now, one thing that I have just remembered just by walking up here, I can see redstone there, and I can see slime blocks, which can only mean one thing. These are the infamous Hermitcraft episodes. Oh boy. Just looking back, I remember them. Hermitcraft episodes 98 and 99, I decided I was going to build a slime block elevator. So we did have slime blocks at the end of Hermitcraft. It was when they were just introduced, and they don't work so smoothly on servers. So let's see if this works in my single player world. I can't even remember how we did it. Oh yeah, there was some weird mechanism. I mean, it works. It does work, and it's pretty cool the way that you sort of pop out of the ground and then you're up at the top here. But that, oh, the amount of trouble, the amount of grief, that just drove me around the bend. I have never, ever recorded episodes that have caused me so much anger. Even recently, I've been doing some like fairly aggravating episodes, and none of them have been that bad. But anyway, here we are in the Donators Village. I think this is way back when I first started the Hermitcraft server, and I think people that donated a certain amount in live streams and things like that would just get houses. They would get houses on the server, and yeah, you can see there's a few of those. I always got really behind on that sort of thing though, so I had to drop it because there were a bunch of houses that needed building, and I was way behind, so I had to drop that little scheme there. But over here we have got, this is a Rubik's Cube monument. Now this was such a funny prank by Joe Hills. Joe Hills came along and built just an enormous Rubik's Cube over there in my base. It was huge. In fact, it was so big, it attracted the attention of Rubik's Cube itself. The actual company that makes Rubik's Cubes tweeted out the video saying, look, this guy's just built a gigantic Rubik's Cube in Minecraft. It was that big, and it was huge, and it was actually a puzzle. And because I've never really thought about Rubik's Cubes before, and I've never solved a Rubik's Cube before, I didn't know how to fix it. And basically, it was, you know, Rubik's Cubes, each middle color is different, okay? Because, of course, that's a fundamental mechanic of the Rubik's Cubes. If that wasn't the case, then you wouldn't be able to solve the Rubik's Cube. So each middle section is different, like each middle block right there. And he left one of the blocks missing, and he was like, what color would it be? And I was like, I have absolutely no idea. How am I meant to know that? And I went through my different ideas for solving it. I was like, okay, I'll count all of the colors and things like that. But obviously, yeah, it was just a bit of a mess. And a load of people shouted at me down in the comment section for that episode, but I don't even care because it was an awesome episode, and that was a fantastic prank by Joe Hill, so I definitely thought that one deserved a bit of a monument right there. But anyway, if we run up here, I can't ever remember, did I ever finish my mountain base? Because I came up with an idea to create like a mountain base. No, it doesn't. I remember this. Yeah, Mumbo's Sleepy Hollow. I created this cool area. I like this. And then I tried to make a bedroom, and just look at that mess. Oh, I'm glad I didn't continue on with that one. So yeah, I basically ended up giving up on that one. But that was going to be my bedroom. It just never sort of came about. But anyway, let's run back down the path down here, and we'll make our way back through our little Donators Village. Over there, we've got Zombie Cleo's horse that I don't think she ever picked back up. Yeah. Oh no, this is when I got pranked. I honestly can't remember. It's so long ago now. I can't remember how I acquired some of these things, but I know for a fact that I never got a horse. And that mushroom there is definitely from a prank, because King Happy came along and basically planted a bunch of mushrooms and put these guys about my base, and they sticked around for the entire time, clearly. And that was like episode 13 as well, because I brought Jumbo back for like a question and answer session. It was really good fun. But anyway, over here we've got my chicken farm. This thing just provided food forever on the Hermitcraft server. We've also got my automatic tree farm over here, which has been left running, which is probably causing quite a bit of lag, so we'll turn that one off. But this thing's awesome, and I've built this one on the Hermitcraft Series 3 world because it's just absolutely epic. Now, down at the bottom there, we've got the gold farm. That goes down there. Then over here, oh yes, over here we've got the industrial tree farm. Now, this is another episode that I was a little bit disappointed with when I released it. I was like, you know, that's an alright episode, and it's one of my most viewed Hermitcraft episodes. I think it's got about 500,000 views, which is a little bit frustrating once again, because it seems like the only episodes that do really well are the ones where I'm in a really bad mood. So maybe I should do more of those, just grumpy mumbo episodes, because they seem to be the most successful ones. But yeah, this is the industrial tree farm. Over there we can see my TNT quarry that just goes right the way down to bedrock using lava. That was a load of fun. And then if we just head back up here, we have got a few of the other builds. So of course we've got the Mumbo statue that you'll probably recognize once again from Hermitcraft Series 3. I built that inside my little base area. We've got the melon and pumpkin towers that go right the way up into the sky. I thought they looked awesome when I built them, and looking back, they look a little bit silly where they're currently positioned, so I would have done that probably a little bit differently. And then finally, we've got the, what is this? The Corizon Wireless. Yeah, Coralis just came along and built a Wi-Fi antenna inside my base, which is just a really funny prank. And it was just totally random. He didn't even let me know that he'd built it. I just sort of hopped on the server and I was like, oh. But yeah, that's Coralis just being Coralis up there. So that thing looks great. And then finally over here, we have got a few other builds. Obviously, I started things off this episode on top of this thing. This is a totem pole. Now, this harks back, way back, to before the Hermitcraft server. So basically what happened is that I was doing a Let's Play on what's known as Mumbo's World. That was my single player world. And then I basically stopped doing the Let's Play on there. I was like, okay, I want to start a new world. So I started a new world, and it was going alright, you know. I was really enjoying myself. I recorded one episode, and I put 18 hours of progress into this one episode. I really did go to town, making everything work. I wanted it to be the best first episode of a Let's Play ever, and during that episode, I built this totem pole. Okay, that was one of the first projects I did, because I wanted a totem pole for some reason. It seemed like a beginner's essential. And then Exuma messaged me saying, hey man, do you want to join the Hermitcraft server? And I was like, yeah, I really do, but I've just started a Let's Play and I've recorded the first episode. It was like, don't worry about it, just delete it and start again. And I was like, oh. So I thought what I'd do is I thought I'd build a totem pole just to commemorate those 20 hours that I spent on an episode that never actually ended up being released, which was great fun. But anyway, moving on from the Mumbo's World Series 2 totem pole, we have got the Redstone Museum. Now, I don't really know why I decided to do this as a Redstone project, but I like it. I really like it. I like the idea of it. I think, once again, it's one of those things that could have been executed a lot better. Like, the building could have been I mean, this thing's not particularly pretty, is it really? It's not a very pretty museum at all, and I think that I could have laid it out much better than I have done here. But these are some of my favourite redstone builds, and you know what? I think I'd agree. Look, we've got the crafting bench there. That there is a redstone torch key. I think this is my tiny hidden staircase, and I still love that thing because that thing's ridiculously tiny. Then over here we have got what? Oh, my tileable T flip-flops from way back in the day. Okay, so those are tileable T flip-flops right there. We've got the auto melon farm. Oh no, what? Yeah, that is an auto melon farm, but I guess I don't know, I didn't want to break the melon. So that's the auto melon farm. Then we've got this bud switch right here. We have the hose switch right there. And then this is the bedtime alert thing, which is an absolutely awesome redstone contraption that I've been using recently. So yeah, I really like the idea of that redstone museum, but as I say, definitely could have been executed a little bit better. And down at the bottom here, we've got a double hidden staircase that's actually been broken by the look of things. And then this little secret room that I just really wanted to make use of these different resources here, and decided to build this thing. And I still really like this place. Like, this place Looks seriously awesome. So now I guess it's time to head outside the base and go to probably... I don't know what it was about this place, but it was like one of the most hated redstone projects. Oh, first off, we'll pop down here because this is one of my favourite rooms. I love this place. This is the auto farming room. I just wanted to chuck a bunch of farms in an area. And it just looks epic. Like, I seriously think this looks awesome. And this as well. This was built in a Hermitcraft mini episode because I was going through my A-levels. Yeah, I was going through my A-levels. Wow, it really is that long ago. So yeah, I was going through my A-levels and I didn't really have enough time to record full episodes. So I built this and it just looks awesome. And we've got the 3x3 door. I completely forgot about that one. With the... Oh, so cool. I really like this area of the base. This place is absolutely awesome. But we are going to... Oh, hang on. Oh yeah, I remember, because there used to be anvils that dropped down here, but of course we got rid of all of that to make way for the elevators and things. But yeah, now we are going to head outside of the base, and we're going to go to the fishing village, which, as I say, was one of the most hated Hermitcraft projects I think I've ever worked on. Now, I'll be honest, when I built this, I used to think it looked awesome, okay? I was really, really happy with how everything looked. I spent ages on the episode, and I was loving it, and then people were like, yeah, it's like a bit rubbish, really. And I want to look back because, of course, you know, I've been taking a look at my base and I used to think that was the best looking thing. I used to think that everything there looked awesome. And looking back, it was like, it's alright, I suppose. So we'll see how this all looks. Because all of these builds were pretty much my own. I know the tower I borrowed from someone else. But all of the builds I came up with myself. So here goes. I mean, yeah, it's... That's not bad. It looks a little bit rough around the edge. It's quite a boring build. That's a boring build. These are a bit boring. That tower's nice, as I say, but that wasn't designed by me. This build over here, I spent ages on. I mean, it's alright. But it is boring, though. I mean, there's no detail going on in that roof. That is just one big roof. And that's pretty much it. Then we have this area down here, which is nice, but it is boring though. All of it's boring. God, I can see where you guys were coming from now. You were like, yeah, I mean, this fishing village is alright, but it's just a little bit boring. And I was like, no, don't be silly. This is great. This is awesome. Oh. I've just realised that, yeah, you guys were right. This was all really boring. How funny is that? So yeah, here is the fishing village, and as I say, it wasn't hated. People didn't really hate it, but the episodes didn't get the best response. They always got considerably less views than other Hermitcraft episodes, and they didn't get like the same positive response. Generally when I release a Hermitcraft episode, people are like excited. They're like, yay, Mumbo's uploaded a Hermitcraft episode. None of that happened with the fishing village episodes. It was sort of like, oh, Mumbo's uploaded a Hermitcraft episode. He's working on the fishing village, so yeah, I think I'll watch Exuma instead. Or I'll watch someone else instead. I don't know why I went for Exuma there. But yeah, it's just a bit average, isn't it? How average is this place? Yeah, let's leave this place behind. I much prefer my actual base. But I definitely feel like what this little tour here has taught me is A, I'm much better at minecart tracks in general now. Having done the Great Rail, this thing is terrible. And actually, that's a point. This project right here, you see this massive rail? This took like 4 hours. I mean, it looks, it looks a bit stupid, doesn't it? It's just fence posts. It's just 4 hours worth of fence posts. There was so much crafting that I had to do. I went through about, I think, 30 stacks of bone meal or something ridiculous like that to get enough wood to do this. I don't know, there was just some design decisions that I made that were just a little bit strange. And I'm really, really glad that I've done this. Because now I'm looking back at my Hermitcraft Series 3 world. In fact, you know what? I'm going to hop onto the Hermitcraft Series 3 world right now. We're going to take a look around and just ogle at all the nicer things that I've managed to do this time. Because, yeah, I seriously think, looking back, Hermitcraft Series 2, it was cool. And this base was definitely very nice, but it was nothing special. So here we are back in my beloved Hermitcraft base. And boy, oh boy. Oh, this just feels so much cooler. Now looking back at this, just thinking, I built this, and it looks mega. It's like a mega version of the previous space, basically. It's basically like an improved version of Hermitcraft Series 2. This place looks awesome to me, and I'm really happy with how everything's turned out here. Of course, I'm still working on it. It's still a work in progress. It's not like I've finished working on this world, and at the minute, there are no plans for Hermitcraft Series 4 or a reset or anything like that. But if there is a Hermitcraft Series 4, let's hope I have the same amount of progress, as in my next base is even cooler than this one. But as I say, just want to stress, no plans for a reset or anything like that just at the minute, which is good. I'm loving working on this world. It's just so much fun, and I love the amplified terrain. So I will be really, really, really gutted if we do another Hermitcraft series where we don't have amplified terrain, because this thing looks absolutely epic. But anyway, unfortunately, that is all I've got time for today. I hope that you enjoyed this little tour of the Hermitcraft Series 2 world. As I say, I am currently in Australia at the minute. I am Australian. I'm on the other side of the planet. So I probably won't be responding to your comments, but your comments are extremely nice to read, and I'll be reading them when I return home. But if you have enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.